Hello, everyone. Hi. Always a bit of a shock when I kind of come on. Hello. Welcome to Let's Talk About Networking. Thursday afternoon, 12:30. We are joined today by the wonderful Rachel Freeman. Good afternoon, Rachel.
Good afternoon, Liam. You okay?
I'm all right. All okay today. It's a little bit sunny where I am. What about you?
It's a little bit grey. It was very nice and warm and sunny yesterday, but grey is better than usual in Oldham. It's usually raining, so grateful for what we've got.
Genuinely, thank you very much for being here. We spend 20 minutes with a member and a business person every week, just asking them a little bit about their journey, a little bit about their business, a little bit about networking. And thank you, everyone, for watching. If you're watching this live, put some comments in the chat. If you're watching it on feedback, well, we're not going to see your comments, so there's no point in doing it. But welcome anyway. Rachel, thanks very much for being here. I suppose my first question is, you're obviously brilliant at what you do, but tell us about your history. How have you got to where you are in terms of your profession?
So I started as a tax consultant when I was about 18. I'm 40 now, and just sort of slowly grown over the years. I've been promoted through different roles. Currently tax partner at Sefton's, where I've been since 2005. We've got quite a big and varied client base. So yeah, that's how I am where I am.
Yeah, and have you always wanted to do this for a profession? What did you wake up one morning going, that's exactly what I want to do?
Do you know what? Completely the opposite. My dad actually made me get a proper job when I was 18. My dad had an accountancy practice, and that's how I ended up into it. It suited me, enjoyed it. Hopefully, I'm good at it. So no, it absolutely wasn't planned at all.
What did you actually want to be then?
I'd got absolutely no idea. Hence my dad's firm hand and a bit of guidance. Absolutely no idea in any way, shape, or form. So I was just really lucky that he'd given me that opportunity, albeit sort of quite forced at the time. And like I say, that's years and years ago, and it's panned out really well. I'm very grateful for him to sort of getting me into the career that I'm in now. So yeah, it's Dad knew best, clearly.
Yeah, what do you enjoy about it then? What's the enjoyable bits?
I think the best clients, love the client-facing element of the job. I suppose ideally for us, it's the client-facing side, the speaking to clients, get to know them, getting to know and understand their businesses, and watching them grow. And we've got tons of clients that we've seen sort of start up, should I start a business? I'm worried about starting a bit. I'm thinking about leaving my job to start a business, whatever it may be. And over the years, they've sort of grown. Some of those clients that have started off like that have now got multi-million-pound turnover, high staff numbers, and it's just that sort of pleasure of forming your relationship over the years. And you do get an awful lot out of that and seeing them grow. But yeah, definitely the client-facing element, I think.
And yeah, I mean, let's go back then 14, 15 months, of course. You like the client-facing side of it, but then 14 months ago, we were categorically told, do not go and see any clients. So how I suppose my first question is, how did you initially react to that with being somebody who wants to get in front of people? And then second of all, how did you adjust and how's that panned out over the last 14 months?
I think because we are very client facing, we've got very strong relationships with our clients. I don't think we'd realised how much our clients actually rely on us. The first few weeks, sort of as the pandemic started and sort of, Boris was sort of doing his daily announcements, we were literally on the phone 10, 11 hours a day. Just reassuring clients. Some of the things we certainly didn't have, didn't even have answers to. But no, we've just managed over the phone, Zoom. We are slowly going back into face-to-face meetings now, which is nice. It's nice to see that. But yeah, we've just had to adapt like every other business has. But I don't think our client relationships have suffered that much, probably because they were so strong to start with. Yeah.
Did you always have that confidence, or was there a moment of, oh, geez, what are we going to do here?
I think we always have the confidence in our client relationships. Like I said, we are very client sort of facing. We talk to our clients a lot. We've got very informal relationships with them. So they'll text late at night. They'll give us a ring on a Saturday morning. And I think all of that, we'd already cemented that. So I don't think the relationship side probably even crossed our mind at the time. just because you've got almost more important things to think about. You're concerned about your clients. And it was just sort of feeling the huge amount of phone calls that we got of people panicking. They're panicking about the livelihood. So no, it wasn't something really that immediately sprung to mind.
Okay, well, I mean, whilst you're a business person, whilst you're a networker and a great networker at that, there's always a human element to everything that we do. So for you, over the last 14, 15 months, what's been the difficulty for you? How have you coped with it in terms of a mindset, in whether you've been locked in at home trying to work? Have you just said, right, I'm going to throw myself into my work? Or how have you kept yourself occupied and kind of level in the last few months?
I think the biggest thing is you count your blessings. We're incredibly grateful. We've got big offices. So we've got 2 offices, one in Oldham and one in Saddleworth. So we're very lucky, first of all, that we've managed to stay open. Really grateful for that. Very glad that, speaking to people that are working from home, have done throughout, and are intended on doing for the next couple of months still. So very grateful for that, actually being able to leave the house. I'm lucky enough to have a very happy marriage. So home time, it's pleasant to be at home.
Awesome.
You just knuckle down and get on with it, don't you?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much been, like I say, count your blessings. We're, healthy, happy and safe. And I think at the moment, I think that's probably the good thing that's going to come out of the pandemic, that it sort of brings you back to the sort of basics. I've really missed seeing my dad and friends and things like that. But all the bits that you do, the add-ons, the going out, the glamorous bits, the holidays, I've not missed so much, to be honest. Not as much as I thought I would have done.
That's excellent. I think there has been some positive stuff that have come out of the last 15 months now, isn't it? And I like that. I like how you reflected on that. So let's go back then to networking. Let's go back to referral strategy, relationship building. You've not always been a member of a networking group or a BNI chapter. So let's go right back. Up to the point that you thought, actually, I need to be involved in this. What were you doing beforehand to build your business? And how did you get introduced to networking and BNI?
To be honest, prior to joining BNI, we've got a very good reputation locally. We're quite a big firm locally. And if you know Oldham, it's not huge. No. So we get all our business from referrals, now obviously BNI referrals. And it's all word of mouth. So we've never been in the position really where we're struggling for business. We actively need to go out and find new business. I came across BNI. I've known Luke Sugden for years, and I'd seen it on Facebook. And I'd just rolled my eyes at him, just thinking he was doing some deaf networking thing. Never paid any attention to it. And then my husband's got his own joinery company, and we just bought a brand new house, got an absolute fortune to spend. And he rocked up and said, "So I'm going to join this coffee club in the morning. And it's going to cost me whatever to join." And I was like, "You're not really." It's not, But anyway, he did. Clearly got no authority. So he joined, and I just got to understand a bit more about it. And after a few weeks of my eye rolling, I thought, I'm going to join. So he said, "Well, you can't. You can't. Your accountancy is gone." And I know Kevin Sanders from sort of locally. We've just worked together, sort of over the years, bumped into each other at events. And Kevin approached me about opening a new BNI, so I just took the opportunity.
Love that. So, and your husband's still with it, involved within the group? So, yeah, brilliant. And okay, so how much of an important part is it in your business now then, networking?
More important than we'd realised, I think, firstly. We do. We get an awful lot of business from it. But I don't think it's just about the business for us, it's about the contacts. So we did do, we sort of went to networking events where, you sort of have a glass of fizz or a coffee or whatever it may be. But we'd not really got the relationships where I could pick the phone up to the local solicitor and say, "Can I just ask you this?" Or, a mortgage broker. And that's been really important to us, that we've now got this professional circle around us. We've almost become the go-to person that clients, you've got your obvious ones, your insurances, mortgages, pensions, whatever you might ask an accountant about. But they will also say, "Oh, you're in that thing, do you know a joiner or, an electrician or whatever it is." So, and I think that sort of further cemented our relationship with clients as well. So no, it does work well, aside from obviously the business that we get from it.
I love that. So, I mean, maybe, yeah, expand on that support side a little bit. Did you realise that would come from being part of the team beforehand, or were you? And we speak honestly here. Were you purely thinking, actually, this is just going to be really good for getting me referrals into my business, and then the support side came afterwards? You know, oh, actually, do you know what? There's all elements to this group.
Do you know the bits that? Yeah, we purely joined to get more business. From a selfish point of view, we are one of the bigger firms in Oldham. And we didn't want anybody else to take that seat. I've seen how it worked, like I say, from my husband. But no, the support side, whether that's, I mean, the friendship side as well, that's something that I never didn't cross my mind. You just assume you go into a network thing once a week. But no, the support network is just invaluable, you know, whether it's a quick text, and it works both ways. You know, the solicitor will pick the phone up to me and ask for a bit of advice. But no, never crossed my mind, not at all. But it's invaluable now. Yeah. Not just our chapter, you know, sort of regionally as well.
Of course, no, absolutely. It wouldn't be an honest conversation without saying that any networking, any referral strategy comes with its hard work. You don't just turn up to any event and expect to get referrals or exposure. So, how do you deal with that? That hard work and whatever else comes with being part of a networking team or a chapter?
I think if it's worth it, you almost enjoy it. I mean, the people, obviously, your immediate chapter, because you've got that group of people around it, you're sort of doing it for them a bit as well. It's not just, it changes from being just about us going out getting business for our business. So, you know, you're doing it sort of almost for your team, if you like, which I know sounds a little bit naff. But no, I don't find it a huge amount of time-wise, yeah, but effort-wise, you know, it's worth it, so you don't mind at all. Yeah, and quite enjoyable. You know, we're looking forward to getting back to the coffees and the catch up and one-to-ones and things. The lunches, the socials, all the nice bits that go with it. But yeah, it's not a massive deal at all. No.
If that's a strap line that you ever want for Paramount, when you said quite enjoyable, I will take that. You know,
is that all right?
yeah, Paramount. It's quite enjoyable. You know, I'll have that. So okay, let's talk about Paramount then, because you know it's grown to a certain number. You've got 16 fantastic members in there now. Just tell us a little bit about what Paramount means to you, its journey in the last few months.
So, like every other chapter, every other business group, business or whatever, last few months have been strange. We're really looking forward to going back to face-to-face meetings. We have taken the decision that that's what we're going to do, so we're looking forward to that. Yeah, we are quite a sort of close-knit group, so we've got some real lovely success stories that people have helped each other during lockdown. You know, there was one guy, you know, whenever all the shops were shut and nobody could get anything, there was one guy that, you know, all he wanted was one particular item of food because that's all his wife was craving. Sticks it on the WhatsApp chat, and within minutes, well, sort of within a couple of hours, he'd got far too many boxes of Fosters. I think he actually what he was after. But no, I think it's pulled us together in one way, just because it's that sort of mucking in, and you know, you've got to get on with it. But we've definitely missed the face-to-face contact, and we are looking forward to that. Whether it's the socials, just the chat over breakfast or whatever. Yeah. The face-to-face stuff. We don't know what Boris is going to say in next week, is it? Yeah. Fingers crossed. He says everything. Everyone can go clubbing. That's what we hope he says. Whether he does or not, we don't know. But yeah, we're all looking for that face-to-face element. But you know, relationships have still been kept being built over the past few months. Zoom isn't the same. But it's given us to be a bit more efficient. How have you reflected then on that efficiency side, not only in your business, but in networking of people being able to do a lot of this relationship building online? I mean, it is more efficient. It is. And I think we're surprised at daft things, you know, nipping to wherever we might be going to. Even using BNI as an example, it saves an hour in the morning, you know, just for the travelling. And I count myself as local, but by the time, you know, you've parked up, you've done whatever, defrosted your car in the middle of winter, whatever it might be, it does. I like that bit of Zoom. Certainly with clients, we've got a client that I usually go to a board meeting at that's an hour away, and that's now on Zoom, you know, and there's usually about 10 of us there. So if you sort of have the travelling time, again, it has got its perks. And I think we will sort of carry on with Zoom meetings for certain clients. I think they'll want to. We might even find that, assuming we can go back to face, certain members want to stay online, that they may have sort of, a family member that they're not confident going out to, even if they've just lost the confidence because they've not been out. So I suppose it's like everything. You're just waiting and seeing, aren't you? Like you say, seeing if Boris allows it to start with. And again, you just work around it. It's, if we've done the last 12 months or so, I don't think it's going to be an issue, is it?
What are you, as again, we're all humans here. What as a human, what are you looking forward to doing the most? What's the thing that you haven't been able to do? You think that's really what I'm craving to want to do when we've got absolute freedom?
Probably catching up with people that you've just not been able to see. Family, friends, date nights, coffee, this just the simple stuff, nothing fancy, no sort of super duper glamorous holidays or anything like that. Just the sort of, I've missed people and I didn't think I would.
It's just having that coffee with somebody and chatting about nothing for an hour. It really is. So a bit about the business. What's the future look like then for the business? Where are you going with it?
We're growing. We're going from strength to strength. We're really, really happy with the business. Client base is pretty much it's very much general practice. We try not to specialise in any area. Huge variety, predominantly around the northwest of England. Any size, any type of business, any trade, profession, whatever it might be. And I think just probably continue to grow. And the fact that we get our client base, our new clients, is all referrals. That's just a fantastic compliment, man. That's where you want to be. We don't lose clients because of service, and that to us, that's really sort of how we measure where we are. And I think we'll just be happy to continue to grow as we are doing.
Love that. So you say you're a general practice. Do you have an ideal client? What that client looks like? I'm sure you can work with startups. I'm sure you can work with big businesses at 500 employees. But have you got a niche that you think, actually, do you know what, I really like day-to-day working with that kind of business?
I think probably for me, and it's probably a personal preference, trades and manufacturing, who generally are incredibly good at what they do, but the business side sort of falls by the by. They don't understand it, they're not interested in it, whatever it might be, or a combination of both. And that's sort of where we slot in quite nicely, that some clients almost have to count as an extra member of their team, that we can go in and do what, put the systems in place, whatever it might need to be. It's not just the tax planning advice, saving your tax, making sure you're compliant with everything. We are that sort of support bit as an add-on to the business. So size-wise doesn't really matter. But yeah, for me, that would be my personal preference.
Love that. Coming back to Paramount then, last kind of couple of questions. 16 specialist business people in a room, passing business to each other, but you've got business waiting for other trades, I am sure, other professions.
Yeah.
What are them professions that you are saying we want in this room, in this team?
We're after an IT company.
Love that.
We're lacking on the trade side of it. So windows and doors, roofer, plasterer, bathroom fitter, plumber. That side of thing would be nice to sort of work on. I think partly for the trades that automatically bounce off each other, that sort of comes quite naturally within the group. But trades also speak to a lot of other trades. So that would help other people in the room. It's not just that, the plumber could pass the joiner work or anything like that. The plumber will talk to other people running the business, and I just think they're a nice fit, and they're also good fun as well. And you've got the likes of me and the boring accountant sort of sat quietly at the meeting, but they sort of add a bit of sort of personality and fun to the meeting. Really, it's nice banter.
Love that. Last question, I suppose. There's people watching this now live or later on, and they're thinking, I do want to grow my business. I want to be more successful than I've already been, whether you're starting out or whether you've been in it for years. And I'm not quite sure about networking or referrals or BNI or whatever it may be. What's your advice to them people watching?
I was probably like that. So I think just forget anything that you may think you know about it and just go along. Find what, one that's sort of, fairly local to you. Don't consider who else is in the room. Have I got such a body that I might want to deal with? Just get yourself along, have a coffee, meet people, and just see it for yourself. Don't listen to somebody else that says, "Oh, I tried it and it was rubbish," or just go, because, like I say, and the other side of it as well, you learn a lot. I would never have ever spoken to a room full of people. I would have dodged it like the plague, and I'm quite comfortable with that, which helps from a business point of view. So I think just forget anything that you think you know, and just tag along to a meeting and get yourself a coffee.
Love it, Rachel. Love it. Thank you so much. Genuinely, thank you so much for spending 20 minutes. I know you're busy. You're 20 odd minutes with us today, and just giving us some background on what you do. Where can people go to find out more about you and your firm?
Seftons.co.uk. We've got a website. You can find me on the BNI page of Paramount if you wanted to, or just under Rachel Freeman on Facebook, however you want to.
Lovely. Rachel, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Please go and enjoy some sunshine if you can. If you can't, plenty of coffee.
It's not raining. Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. It's been good to speak to you, Liam.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. You too. Speak to you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. I can't tell everyone I'm about to close down. Who gives money to a company that's about to close down? Are you mad? One of my clients was a big client that gave me about £180,000 worth of business. The new manager came in and completely stopped the service that we were part of. I needed to find basically £120,000 in 6 weeks. It really sort of hit home. What am I going to do? Even when I stood up, I wasn't going to say anything. And then I just did.
Suzanne had been a member of BNI for maybe a couple of months.
She stood up in a meeting.
I've got 2 weeks left of trading.
Everything might go down the tubes.
I burst into tears, ran out of the room after the meeting when I composed myself and went back in. Everyone was amazing. They were coming up to me saying, "Tell me about it, what's happening," which was really powerful.
Outside of BNI, if you put out there that you're struggling, your client base actually walks away. They don't want brand loyalty to someone that they don't think is going to be there in a few weeks' time.
We all felt for her, and I don't think there's anybody in the room that didn't go home afterwards, go through their entire dress book and think, who needs a blind? Who needs some wallpaper? Who needs something?
So the following week, suddenly, I got emails from everybody introducing me to people, asking how it was and what they could do to help me. David in particular introduced me to an estate agent. I
just tried to help her, really. Put her in touch with a couple of bigger customers that we had who we knew used interior designers.
He gave us a show flat to do almost straight away. To be honest, I wouldn't have got that work on my own. So if you sent an email, you try and do a follow-up call, you don't even get to speak to the person. From the meeting where I got emotional to the show flat and the first pieces of work coming through, it was probably around 2 to 3 weeks. My aim for this year was to hit 400k, and I think I've already done it. Something that I thought was going to take a few years to get to. I now have a team working with me, a larger team than I had before, and it's lovely to have the support. I know I could go to any one of those members. How often do you follow up after you've done a quote? How do you deal with a staff member if this happens? And that's really reassuring in business because it's quite a lonely place.
When business goes badly, it really knocks the stuffing out of you. And part of the give as gain philosophy is that we can all pull together.
You're a team of people whose job is to support each other.
It feels like you're just socialising, but the work that gets passed because you've had a one-to-one with someone, there's a big impact there. I think anybody that sort of says, do you know what, I'm not sure it's for me, I think they're really missing out massively.